I'm not breaking any news here. This Philadelphia Eagles team, while 8-2, is broken. And I think a big fear that a lot of Eagles fans have is the fact that it's 2023 all over again. If you're not aware, in 2023, the Eagles were like 10-1. They were rolling. They were a dominant force. It appeared, at least on paper. But if you actually watch the games, you were like, this doesn't look like the team that should have beaten the Chiefs in the Super Bowl the previous year. And then finally, the cracks became too much. The dam broke, and I forget what it was, but like they lost like 6 of their last 7 games or something crazy like that. They fired their defensive coordinator. They replaced him. Offense never really looked like they were clicking much. It didn't look good, but they were winning. So for an Eagles fan, you're watching the season play out and you're going like, this is deja vu all over again. This is the 2023 season happening. You're just waiting for the dam to crack, because after two straight weeks following the bye where the offense has looked lifeless, barely being able to score a touchdown, there is cause for concern. And nobody wants to hear the fact that you played good teams. You played Green Bay on the road. You played the Detroit Lions. You don't want to hear that, especially when you factor in that Detroit was missing 3 of their 4 starters in the secondary, and you weren't able to take advantage of it. Compound that with the fact that today, Derek Gunn, formerly of Comcast Sportsnet, he came out with a story that basically said, like, look, there are people in the building that are a little worried about the quarterback. It kind of felt like a little Carson Wentz 2.0 deja vu situation there. And if you're unaware of who Derek Gunn is, like, he is the guy. He's the guy that if he says the story, he'd take it to the bank. There are no lies detected. He doesn't run with crap. He gets intel. Now, to be fair, and I said this at the time with Carson Wentz, but I'm not panicking over people not liking someone, which was the Carson Wentz situation, or people not being happy with Jalen Hurts maybe in the building, because you factor in how many people are in that building. I remember getting into it with a former colleague who was defending Wentz at the time, and I went like, look, man, how many people work here? Do you think everybody likes me? You think everybody likes you? Like, no. Okay, well, the Eagles building has about 3 times the amount of employees. The idea that somebody is universally liked, it's hard to believe. So I wasn't panicking with the Carson Wentz thing, and I'm not panicking with the Jalen Hurts thing either. Because as I said last night with my post-game comments, and I brought up the A.J. Brown situation, I said, look, if you're not concerned with this offense, if you're not speaking out, there's a bigger issue. And when the offense isn't clicking and you've got a quarterback up there speaking in fortune cookies, nobody wants to hear when did winning not become the only thing. Style points do, in fact, matter. Okay, so what's the big difference? What's the big difference between this year's team and last year's team? You saw it last night. You saw it the previous week in Green Bay. They have a defense. And they don't just have a defense, they have a defensive coordinator who can bail this offense out, which was the big difference between this team and the 2023 team. The 2023 team, not only was their offense not clicking, not in sync at all, but they also had Tweedledee and Tweedledum running their defense. Sean Desai was added late because the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. Jonathan Gannon unexpectedly took the Arizona job. The Eagles were scrambling. They took Pete Carroll's word for it, which, of course, a coach is going to talk up another coach who is in his coaching tree and makes that person look good. But Sean Desai was a failed defensive coordinator in Chicago. His secondary wasn't very good in Seattle. He comes to Philadelphia, and he's dog shit. Unfortunately, sports is the ultimate, if you get in the building, you'll have a job for life, and Sean Desai is a prime example of that. Has he ever been good? No, he has not. But, hey, he got in the NFL, he made some connections, and now he will have a job for life. I don't know what he's doing now, but I guarantee he's hired on somebody's staff, probably sucking. They also brought in Matt Patricia. And I remember when they made the switch from Sean Desai to Matt Patricia, I said, look, Matt Patricia is a smart guy. Like, he's not going to completely change and revamp the defense in in the middle of a season. Like, he'll fix things, but he's not going to completely change the scheme. That would be idiotic. Well, guess what he did? And my biggest example of the failure of the defense in 2023 was everybody sucked. Like, you had all pros who looked like they'd never played football. You trade for Kevin Byard. He looks like he's lost out there. Well, of course he is. He's learning one playbook, and the next week they fire the guy, and he's got to learn another playbook. But this year, it's different. Because what we saw the last 2 weeks is Vic Fangio Not only is he a really, really good defense coordinator, but he's able to bail out Sirianni and Patullo's offense time and time and time again. 2 weeks in a row, the Eagles were able to hold opponents under 10 points. Not just hold opponents under 10 points, hold playoff teams under 10 points. That is incredibly tough to do. You know, when the Green Bay Packers scored their touchdown in the Monday night game, I said aloud, I was doing a TikTok live, and I said, look, you didn't expect them to shut them out. I mean, shutting out an opponent in the NFL is really tough. It's understandable you give up one touchdown. But to hold Green Bay and then to hold Detroit and that offense to what they did, 9 points, one touchdown. He had Jared Goff all night uncomfortable, giving pressure, forcing Goff to rush throws, getting off the field on fourth down time and time and time again. That did not happen in 2023. The offense sucked and the defense sucked. The offense looked lost, discombobulated, and then the defense would follow it up by blowing a game in Seattle to, check notes, Drew Lock. So if there's a little semblance of hope that this will not be a recurring thing and this won't be 2023 all over again, it's the fact that they finally have a defense. Not only do they have the players, I think they did have the players in 2023. They just had no leadership. But they also have the scheme and they have the leader in Vic Fangio that will be able to at least weather the storm, so that you pray to God that maybe in week 12, Nick Sirianni will do something. Kevin Patullo will learn how to run an offense. I don't know. Because it just seems like this year the Tweedledee and Tweedledum is on the offensive side of the football. I will remind everybody, all the Nick Sirianni lovers out there, he's an offensive-minded coach, and every time he's touched the offense, they've sucked. Now you've got Kevin Patullo, the second guy that they have elevated in the building to be an OC, who looks like he's never watched football before. There is an issue. There is a big issue. But luckily this time the issue is on the offensive side of the ball and not the defensive side of the ball as well. And that was the problem with 2023. It was both sides, not just one. This year, it's one. Am I happy with the offense? Absolutely not. They have way too many weapons for us to be watching this garbage, but at least we get to watch the fun defense, which is cool. Now's the part where I ask you guys to subscribe. Please subscribe. Subscribing is, it's all the rage right now. Like a lot of people, your friends, they're doing it. I mean, the girl or guy that you want to date, they're doing it, and maybe you'd impress them if you subscribed. I think that's how it works. Hit thumbs up, smash thumbs down. If you agree with me, disagree with me, you can let me know in the comment section. If you see a big difference. If you don't, I don't know. I just made an 8-minute video pleading my case. So, all right, and as always, go Birds.